So I think I broke my vagina. And she looks at me with the most confused face.
In a very long time, yeah, me still a wait for your wine. Body girl, but you're clean and cute.
Back to my channel, you guys. So today, if you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 500. $3.99 out here to subscribe, so make sure you do. Today is an exciting one. I'm here to talk about, hold on, my camera is crooked. It's crooked. Is it straight? Okay, it's straight. Today, as you might have read from the title, I'm gonna talk about how I first got my period. Or should I say the incidents leading up to my first period. So this was on the 10th of June, June 2013, because I came here when I was 13. I know, I got my period really late compared to people here, but I think it's the food. It's the food, I think, like the food they eat here. But so long story short, I got my period at 13. And I remember, you know what, let me start over. This is an exciting story. So, it was the 10th of June, and I went to take a shower, and it was not an ordinary shower that day. Like, something in me was just like, step on the tub to get in instead of going over the tub to get in. Does that make any sense? So I step on it instead of going over. Like, normally people just go like, step over the tub, get in, close the curtain. My dumb ass, I don't know what I was thinking, but I stepped on it that day. So when I stepped on it, my grandma had just taken a shower, so it was wet, obviously. So I slipped, and going down, I dragged the curtain with me, and I landed like legs open on the tub. Like, I was like sitting with like my butt and my vajayjay on the tub, and I remember that hurting so bad, especially rag thing that like connects the curtain broke. And I remember my dad like screaming at Tisa, "What are you doing in there?" And I got so scared because I was naked, literally sitting with my legs open on the tub, and I'm just like, don't come in, everything is fine. So my dad goes in after me. He's like, "Why is the thing broken?" I'm like, "Oh, it was broken before, I don't know what happened." So the next day I wake up with blood in my pants. And the first thought in my head was like, oh shoot. I go to my grandma. I just lied about not breaking the bar, right? I go to my grandma and I'm like, so I think I broke my vagina. And she looks at me with the most confused face. She's like, Adiza, how do you break your vagina? And I'm like, so yesterday, how I lied about not breaking it, so I broke it. And I landed with my vajayjay on the tub, and I think I broke it because now it's bleeding. What do I do? And then she takes me to the bathroom, and she looks at me, and she looks at the blood, and she's like she feels my stomach, and I think I was bloated, and she was like, you have your period. And I'm like, I remember being so excited, like, oh my God, I'm a woman now. Like, I was hearing horror stories about period. I'm just like, why are people complaining? It's literally just blood, and I didn't even feel it coming out that night. So, and then a couple of hours later, I'm getting cramps. I'm like, something is hurting. Something is hurting down here. I thought I had to go. I thought I had to poop, but it wasn't poop. Like, I would go be squeezing, and it will not come out, but it was just painful. And I'm like, what is going on? And they just like, you just be farting throughout the day. And I told my grandma, like, grandma, it's so hurting, I don't know what to do. She's like, you have cramps, take something, Jesus. And I'm like, why are you yelling? And she told me to go get a pad because like older people, they don't really know, like they didn't really know about tampons. So she told me to go get a pad, and I go to my dad like, oh Dad, can I have some money? And my dad at that time, he always asks me what I'm using the money for. I mean, I don't blame him because I was 13, but like now I don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna go get a pad for my period. Like, I was shy about it. So he was always like, what are you gonna use it for? And I was just like standing there like I didn't know what to say, because like, what am I even gonna say? for my period. I don't know. I didn't really have that relationship with him because I'm just seeing him. Like, I came at 13 and it's like, boom, here's your dad now. To call him dad, I'm just like, now I gotta tell you that I have my period. It's kind of like, it was strange at that time. So I called my aunt. I'm like, can you like buy me a pad because my dad is asking me what I'm gonna use the money for. And then my auntie calls my dad and was like, stop asking what she needs the money for, just give it to her. And so he gave me the money. I went to get a pad and my grandma was showing me, and I remember buying the big pads, like the gigantic ones, and she put it in there, and it was like literally like every time I walked, it would be like pulling on my, like the sides of my vagina. Was awful. So that continued on for a while because like I didn't really have, it was my grandparents and my dad. So only like the older woman, like she did not really know anything about pads at this point. So she was the one like teaching me what to do and like what to wear, how like to manage it and stuff. And it was all from like an older perspective. So I didn't know about tampons. I didn't know like the different sizes till like later I like researched about it. But I figured it out and got the right sizes. But it was awful putting on pads. I know it's like a lot of gross stuff. People don't want to hear about it. Grow up. But it's so I got used to it, but I started to hate pads because I played sports in high school, and then it gets summer and like playing tennis while running back and forth in the summer, like, and feeling the grosses me out. So like I didn't like the feeling of it. So I finally like wanted to try tampons, and then there was another issue. I did not know how to put in the tampon. The virgin 13-year-old me, innocent as hell, having to put this up her vajayjay. I was like, is there a hole in here? I don't see a hole because it's sealed. Like, it would hurt every time I tried to because I was doing it wrong. I wasted a large box, like half of a large box of tampon, trying to put tampon in. And I didn't know how to do it. Hold on, I need to grab one. Let me show you guys how I was doing, like what I was doing wrong. I'm back. So what I was doing wrong is like, let's say for instance, this is a tampon, right? It's kind of bright. I don't know if you can see it. Let's say it's a tampon. And then you open it up, and instead of putting this part in, like sometimes you just have to like put some water or something depending on how like lubricated you are. I did not know to do this. Like take this and like push it in. I didn't know that. Like nobody told me. Who, like, am I gonna stop somebody on the road, like side of the road, like, hi, how do I put in a tampon? Please. So I was doing it wrong the whole time. Bro. So basically, I would take it all out like this when it's like a cotton already, right? And then I'll try to put it in like from here. Lydia, how the hell is this supposed to go in like this? I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but how is this supposed to fit? Opened, like, who? Why? I was really dumb because like then it opens up and then it's like you have to like, I was trying to do this and put it in, and I was like, ow, 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 this hurts. Tampons hurt. I hate this. Like I was doing it wrong freaking time. So I remember one day I was like, how about, like, I remember being at my dad's girlfriend's house, and then she goes, I'm like, I don't know how to do a tampon. She's like, just push it in, it's fine, like, just do it. And I'm like, I am just doing it, but it won't go in. So she's like, put some Vaseline around it. So in my head, I thought she meant put Vaseline around here. So I went, right? And I put Vaseline, like I literally drenched the whole thing in Vaseline and trying to like push it in, and I saw this thing, right? And I'm like, how about if I put the Vaseline on here and push it, right? So I just took the empty container of it and put the Vaseline and like closed my eyes because it was hurting so bad. Like I was 13 and obviously a virgin, so I was like really scared. So I just like pushed it in and it worked. And I remember being so excited, like jumping around. I'm like, I can finally put in a tampon. Oh, I was so freaking excited. But I got the tampon down And then my grandma went and told my dad that I got my period. My dad called my aunties called my other aunties, now my uncle knows, and everybody in my family in like a matter of like a day knew that I had my period. And all of them calling me, giving me advice about like, now you gotta be careful, you can't be blah blah blah. And I'm like, what is sex? I don't know what that is. But that was like a long time ago. Oh my gosh. But that was a story about how I became a woman. It was a lot. I thought I broke my vagina. So obviously the falling, I don't know if it spiked it coming out, but I don't think the falling necessarily had anything to do with it. But at that time, it was such a coincidence that happened. Like literally a couple of hours later, I get my period. I was like, I broke my vagina. It's over. I can't have babies no more. But that was the story behind how I got my period. If you liked hearing about my period story, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe. It's a free $99. Literally. Let's get it to 500. Please. Pretty please. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next one.